Now let me welcome Mr. Lorenzo Uhl, who is joining us from Italy, and his lecture is EMF, electromagnetic fields, bacteria, fungi, and viruses. Mr. Lorenzo Uhl?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you for
Good.
joining us, and yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to speak about electromagnetic fields and some effects on the biological matter. We used electromagnetic fields in many fields, from radios to mobile phones to microwaves, but there's lots of literature on the negative effects, but it's just an instrument, and here we are concentrating on actually benefits of electromagnetic fields, especially in the low range. So, historically, the idea was from Jacques D'Arsonval, a scientist who decided to experiment on the Pyocyanosis bacillum and expose it to a current with 200 volts of frequency, and just to see the effect. The inoculated animal was not affected in any way by the frequency, and the germs, on the other hand, underwent a selective attenuation effect. So D'Arsonval, convinced or optimistic about his experiments, carried out numerous experiments, and on the diphtheria toxin, venom from cobra or vipers, and the doubt was that the heat maybe was responsible for the observed effects. If you put current on a body for some time, there is a thermal effect. So he kept the temperature under control, and so he was convinced that there was non-thermal effects on these fields. Nowadays, actually, a very interesting field from the EMF's electromagnetic fields is the treatment of tumors. In 2011, the FDA approved and recognized the validity of the theories behind. Now we will see how more or less how that works. Okay, the effects are observed in an arrest of the proliferation of tumors and a destruction during the cell division processes. Seems an action on microtubulus, and in particular on electric dipole as associated with the tubulin. This is a known treatment for glioblastoma, a tumor in the brain. And in the US, there are several clinics that use this kind of helmet, which the patient should keep on for long times, actually. And it's giving very good results. Here in the slide, you can see the measurement of the intensity of the field used. On the research side, a very interesting group is the group from Fadel from the University of Cairo, and Here, they experimented with many different fields, and we will now see some of their experiments. One of the difficulties of experimenting on life matter is
I'm sorry, Mr. Lorenzo, I'm very sorry to interrupt your presentation, which is
yeah.
very interesting otherwise. Did you mean to share your screen with us? Because we can't see the slides.
Sorry.
So we can share the screen.
I will. Okay. This should do it. Can you see it?
Now we can see it perfectly. Thank you very much.
Sorry. I'll make a quick recap. Sorry. Let's go like this. Okay. These are photos from the treatment of glioblastoma I was speaking of. So now with the slides, you can see the field that was used. Here, the problem with the Fadel group was that applying a field on living matter, there's the problem of the impedance in human would be of the skin. So what can be done about it? The group from Fadel used, let's say, a trick and applied two different fields in an orthogonal way. So the resulting field would be the difference between the values of the two fields. In this way, they could bypass the problem. So the experiments were done, and the mice treated with voltages of 5 Hz showed a significant reduction in tumor masses compared to the untreated group of control. There was no difference with the 0.5 Hz. In 2013, the study was repeated, and the results were always positive. They researched even on different approaches. So this time they used a square wave. So they changed apart from the frequency, they changed the form of the wave. And they experimented from 1 to 10 Hertz. This time it was on a culture put in between two electrodes. And the exposed culture was of Staphylococcus aureus. And with the frequency of 0.8 Hertz, they inhibited the reproduction of the bacterium. In 2012, they used similar experiments on the Salmonella typhi bacterium, and infected mice with a field of 0.8 Hertz. And again, the growth of the bacterium in these mice was inhibited. So they this time they went with a sinusoidal signal with different kind of approaches. So without going too much in particular, they found ways of improving these results. And this, for me, it's something very interesting because it's a field which very little is known. So every even little improvement in ways of doing things is very important. The last research from their group I will present is the research on the Rift Valley fever. This is probably the biggest study they did, and on in vitro cells. They did lots of research, and with a group of control of Vera cells, they went from 1 to 10 hertz, and on cultures, and it was used as the system of putting the culture between two electrodes. So it was again a success. They found, let's say, they observed, let's say, that even slight differences in the frequency applied was giving very different results. So, for example, the square wave frequency was at 5.2, and there was an inhibition of the growth, but that was not observed at 4.4, which is very close. But it seems just this 0.8 of difference was enough to have actually different results. Here we can see the results from their tests. We from Rome are a group that are using a similar approach, and actually we are just on a research level, and we developed a device very sensitive to low frequencies. So here I present this machine, which is APIC 300. It was built at the beginning to see very small signals on a continuous level, in terms of impedance and in terms of potential. There are researches on the impedance of the skin, but very little research on the potential. This is important because actually it gives a kind of a new perspective, and it bypasses one of the biggest problem of these kind of measurement, the skin impedance. So here are some quirks of the machine that can, apart from measure, give a signal. So you can vary the waveform and the intensity of the signal. What is important is that many treatments that for the scientific communities are giving no results because it's not measurable. Like, I don't know, I can think about a homeopathic medicine, or an energetic treatment of any kind, from pranotherapy to Reiki or whatever. The problem with these approaches are that it's difficult to measure a change. It's only possible to interview the patient and have a response, like they feel better or not. But we have seen that there is a response, an electric response, and the range of the very small, but it's measurable, and the research is on this direction. So I thank you for your attention, and have a good day.
Okay, Many thanks to Mr. Lorenzo Uhl, to Italy, and his very interesting technical presentation so far. In this morning and yesterday we had mostly natural and Ayurvedic and natural based approaches to health and to medicines, and this is the thing that can help to prove maybe some of the facts that we were discussing. Thank you very much for that.